auto feed with rotary pallet drilling for productivity applications. RV Machine Tools is authorized distributor of Herco USA CNC machine. Herco is the leading CNC machine manufacturer from USA. 80 more different patterns, VMC, HMC, and 5-axis turning centers. VM 3-axis VMC, VM10i, and VM10UI 5-axis VMC is very popular in institution and production application. These machines have both conversational NC programming option. This is the only machine having these two options, and conversational program is very useful for making components without knowing NC program during training time. And Herco WinMax controller is the very powerful industry, is the best controller, 19 inches touch screen, single and dual type monitor having different pattern softwares. One of the pattern is called Ultimotion application software, pattern software. It's reduced cycle time almost 30% with the competitor models. I'll show you small video for this, how it reduced the cycle time. And there is two machines and the same components and same program and same parameters. Both left side is Ultimotion is enabled and right side is the standard motion, and left side Ultimotion is only compatible for the Herco WinMax controller. And Ultimotion software generates faster and smoother curve corner and 2.5 times faster cornering velocity, and also 50% less messenger, and is having 10,000 block dynamic look ahead option. It accelerates for due to the 10,000 block look ahead option. It accelerates spots, and using Ultimotion, its program is completed 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and still that standard motions like motions is running, and almost this same program and the same parameter. With using of this Ultimotion software, reduce cycle time of 29%. RV Machine Tools, Friction Stir Welding Machine. RV Machine Tools feels proud in saying that RV is the pioneer in India manufacturing of friction stir welding machine right from design and development in India 2004 onwards. RV dedicated to manufacture of friction stir welding machines and linear friction welding machines, wide range friction stir welding machine having models 10 kilonewton to 200 kilonewton. And our first friction stir welding machine to supplied in 2004 Annamalai University. The machine was still working perfectly. The machine is hydraulically operated machines. And the 2010 we supplied full-fledged CNC friction stir welding machine to Bahang University, Malaysia. The machine equipped with a 2-mode controller and data acquisition software is a full-fledged friction stir welding machine. And 2016 we supplied 5-axis CNC thermal assisted 100 kilonewton friction stir welding machine to Naval Material Research Laboratory DRDO Ambernath. It is 100 kilonewton Z-axis force and 63 kilonewton built-in spindle with 400 Newton meter torque. The machine is capable of welding of 25 mm aluminum and 12 mm copper and 12 mm steel. It has 2000 mm X travel and 100 mm wide travel and jet 900 mm travel, and it's AB tilt AB 5 plus or minus 5 degree programmable tilt head. And our basic FSW mean we have different range models for the different applications. This is the FSWB basic models, bridge type NC machine. Smaller, it's ideal for the smaller parts production and institutions applications. We have two models of FSWB, that is the 10 kilonewton and 20 kilonewton force, and spindle taper is 40 ISO 40 type, and spindle speed 300 to 3000 AC spindle motor through VFD drive and spindle power and torque 3.7 kilowatt for FSW 10, that is 23, maximum torque is 23 Newton meter, and FSW B 20 is 7.5 kilowatt and 46 Newton meter maximum torque, and Z-axis travel 200 and Z-axis daylight is 300 and Z-axis velocity 500 mm per minute, and X-axis velocity, X-axis travel 300 to 1000 according to the customer requirement. X-axis velocity maximum 3000 mm per minute, and Y-axis is manual 50. This is the machine only weld linear seam welding. And head tilt here is the B-axis manual plus or minus 5 degree, and this is the controller force and position mode options, and the machine equipped with data acquisition software to. And this is our other signature model. This is FSWM medium performance model, C-frame model, NC and both CNC softwares available. FSW for infusion and production applications. We have two models, that is FSW M30 and FSW M40. FSW 30M both 40 taper, and the spindle is servo spindle motor, and FSW 30 is 7.5 kilowatt 46 Newton meter. FSW M40 9 kilowatt 84 Newton meter, and Z-axis travel is 300 mm, daylight 400 mm, and Z-axis velocity 1000 mm per minute. X-axis travel 300 to 1000, and X-axis velocity here 3000, and Y-axis both servo and manual options available according to the applications 300 and 400, and head tilt angle B-axis plus or minus 5 degree, and optional AB axis 5 degree for any product manufacturing, contour welding or any circular applications. And the controller again, this all our machines force and position mode control models, and all our machines with the data acquisition software built in. And this is the products we are recommending for this FSWB. That water heat sink for e-mobility. Water heat sinks is aluminum component which is fluid circulates inside the cooled electronic components of the e-vehicles. FSW is the operation rather than sealing and screwing, and 100% leak proof. Then aluminum casted parts welding. Aluminum casted parts are difficult or non-weldable with the conventional process. FSW allows the welding of aluminum casting, even die casting pieces due to the solid state process. And this is the operation raw material saving. FSW controller is mechanical parts. Mechanical parts are machined from long blocks of aluminum where up to 90% of material is removed. Part welding by FSW is ordered to get possible final shape. We can reduce material cost and machining cost drastically. And these are similar other FSW applications, joining pure casting two parts and replacing riveting and MIG welding and replacement of copper by aluminum. And this is C-frame heavy duty CNC FSW machine, that is FSWP performance models. It's ideal for the research and development applications. We have two models again here. Here FSWP 40 and FSWP 65. 40 9 kilowatt 140 Newton meter torque, and FSW 65 20 kilowatt and 390 Newton meter spindle torque. And jet axis travel 300 mm, jet velocity 1000 mm, x axis travel 40 is 500 and 65 is 800, and y axis velocity 3000 mm per minute, y axis travel 400 and 60 FSP 65, y axis travel 500. Controller again, all our machines force and position mode controller, data acquisition software. And this is double column extreme model machine, that is FXWX. It's a 100 kilonewton and a 200 kilonewton model machines, which having the spindle motor torque 650 50 and 1540 Newton meter, which is spindle ISO 50 and 3000 RPM maximum RPM spindle motor is a servo motor, and Z-axis column travel 400 and 500, Z-axis velocity 1000 and X-axis 2000 mm to 5000 mm, and Y-axis 400 mm and 500 mm, X-axis and Y-axis velocity 3000 mm per minute, and head tilt B-axis 5 degree. Controller force and position, temperature control mode also available, and the machine with equipped with data acquisition software. And these are other production activity machines. This is a fully automatic manual wall panel friction stir welding machine. Here the components parts manual feeding and the parts auto aligned and auto clamping to the part fixture, and after the clamping that FSW operation takes place, and after that FSW operation completion, that weld part declamp and stopper moves back, that weld part ejects and pushed out to conveyor. This welding thickness 6 mm and welding speed maximum 3000 mm per minute. This is the application model machines. And the small case study for this aluminum wall panel 4 mm thickness and 3 meter long. Conventional TIG welding maximum weld speed 500 mm per minute and weld wire consumable. Weld joint strength maximum 30% from the parent material. After weld surface cleaning process is required. But friction stir welding speed 3 meters per minute and weld strength is almost equivalent to the base material. No after weld process and weld consistency will be maintained. 6 times faster than conventional TIG welding. TIG wire material cost eliminated, and after weld surface process cost eliminated, power cost savings. And this is the long linear seam welding machine. Now actually we can make this type of machines 3 meter to, we have the capacity 3 meters to 8 meters travel, and y-axis 500 to 1000 mm, and the forge force is 20 and 30 kilonewton. This is the traveling column models, and the gantry models we can make up to 20 meters long X travel, and y-axis 1000 and 2000 to 2000 mm y travel, and the forge force here 20 kilonewton and 30 kilonewton we can provide. This is machine for chip panel welding and rail panel welding applications. So controller, FSW controller differs from VMC controller. VMC controller is position mode controller, but FSW controller is position control and force control mode. According to the program set value, both position and load, the machine controller control axis force and velocity. Force and position mode controller works both standard CNC and CNC 2D NC programming software and default FSW weld screen. Machine position and force control mode, which consists of spindle RPM, axis velocity and axis force, and the machine perform as per the input parameters. According to the weld profile, default weld screen can be selected for the linear, circular, rectangular patterns. This is a status monitoring screen. Since the machine is two-way controller mode, according to the weld material, actual reading deviates from the input reading. The status monitoring screen shows the machine process status such as spindle, RPM, axis velocity and axis force during welding. Status monitoring screen shows both Excel and graph format. This is the format graph format screen, and it can be viewed and retrieved and stored both Excel and graph format time to time. It is 100 data per second speed that data acquisition. And now the machine construction. The machine construction and key modules like controller, drive, motor and spindle guideways are the vital role to achieve maximum performance of friction stir welding. Robust design, steel fabricated, stress relieved, fine machined and scraped machine base and column cross slide, and the entire machine is FEA is used to evaluate structural rigidity. And we have two types of spindle assembly. One is that integral and other one is the cartridge spindle assembly. The integral spindle configuration places the motor inside the body of the spindle housing. Integral spindle is mostly used for parts contour welding application model machines. Cartridge spindle used for 3-axis, high forge and high torque spindle model machines applications. And these spindles are case guard precision grounded spindle and precision heavy duty hybrid ceramic ball angular contacts bearings used front and rears according to the models, the bearing pairs and sizes. The spindle chiller is provided for the integral spindle models. The integral spindle advantage is broad range of RPM and torque without changing the gear or belt. The compact design provides large tilting axis. The guideways assembly, all 3 axes fixed with linear roller guideways as to achieve excellent rigidity during heavy axis force. Fixing base are machined with slot and solder for the rail. The rail is then wedge locked with heavy duty fasteners to ensure tightness and rigidity. And these are drive ball screws. Axis drive by precision double nut ball screws that are anchored at both ends. This keeps the nut under tension and prevents backlash and low heat during high force and high velocity. This automatic programmable head during contour welding circular patterns according to the weld axis tool angle can be programmed through AB servo programmable tilt head options. Accessories, this FSW accessories. This one of the accessories is a liquid cooled tool holder. Liquid cooled tool holder restricts the tool temperature transfer to the spindle bearings during high strength material welding, which protect the machine expensive main spindle bearings. Liquid cooled tool holder is advisable and recommended for the steel welding, copper welding, and long aluminum welding application. And we have both 40 and 50 model 50 taper model liquid cooled tool holder available according to the machine spindle type. This is water mixed coolant enters in inlet and cools the chamfer around the FSW tool shank and as a gas shroud. A gas shroud is positioned on the liquid cooled tool holder after the FSW tool has been securely attached. Inert argon gas flow through the shroud and its barrier to oxidation during FSW operations. Temperature telemetry increase the costly tool life and save from tool breakage. Telemetry used to measure the temperature of the tool point during welding. The thermocouple will measure the temperature and transmit the value via wireless transmitting system to the machine controller according to the set value. The machine controls the axis force and velocity. Seam tracking sensor is recommended for panel welding application. Seam tracking sensor leads the welding tool to follow pre-programmable path on the metal. As soon as the seam deviates from the pre-programmable path, the seam tracker software outputs correction the signal to the PLC of the welding machine. Welding machine correct the position so that the tool can weld in the exact middle of the butting line. And different profiles tools. And FSW tool, PCBM tool, these tools we are buying and supplying. This is temperature withstand approximately 1200 to 1500 for ferrous and non-ferrous alloy welding applications, and that polycrystalline cubic boron nitride pin and locking collar and sank or tungsten carbide material. And VRV machine tools manufacturing lanthanum oxide tool can withstand temperature of approximately 600 to 900 degree at high Z and XY axis loads during the welding process. The tool construction consisting of lanthanum oxide tip and tungsten carbide locking collar and shank. H13 and HSS tool for aluminum welding, and approximately it withstand 500 to 600 degrees Celsius during high X and Z axis load. And to achieve good welding, both the component clamping and that fixture is play vital role. To join that circular pipe ends through circumferential weld fixture. Circular pipe is clamped by expanding chuck and OD by outer ring. Rotary axis drive through servo drive with gearbox axis feed programmed as per the material specification and weld parameters. Can be designed as per the customer model and customer requirement. And again, the pipe seam welding, circular seam welding fixture, and we can make according to the customer requirement, diameter and long. These are underwater welding fixture, and the inlet and outlet line connected with the recirculating motor coupled with the tank set of manual clamping provided with this, and hydraulic auto clamping options also available. These are type of fixture, T-joint fixture. This is our friction stir welding modules and accessories, and hereafter that friction welding. We have friction welding basic models FSWB, that is that two models, that is FSWB 30 kilonewton and 60 kilonewton. It is for welding small pots and institution applications, and we have another performance model, that is FSWP 150 to FSWP 600. The machine controller, force and position mode controller, and again the machine equipped with the data acquisition software for the spindle RPM, torque, axis, velocity and force against time. These are friction welding machines, self-centering, hydraulic operated self-centering vices, and this is the servo flash removal for the friction welding machine. The flash formed during friction welding process is removed in hot condition by means of servo axis slide, and that x-axis move additional servo slide, and z-axis turning. The z-axis is the main slide, act as a z-axis slide. This is the controller for this friction welding, and again that spot program and process monitoring through industrial PC touch screen, and the machine is equipped with force and position control mode. And this is the status monitoring and result orientation screen. The screen display is input and output parameters like RPM, torque and displacement and force details. The data occurred in the output parameters various during welding cycle. It will be recorded and retrieved as needed in the form of digital and graphic format. The display also consists diagnostic to check the various machine devices. We have the linear friction welding also. We have linear friction welding, two models. One is that LFW, three models. One is that LFW 30, that is 100 mm square area welding capacity, and LFW 60, 200 mm area square capacity, and LFW FSW 100, there is a 500 area capacity, and the pot clamp, manual pot clamp, the axis load 30, 60 and 100 kilonewtons, and the slide oscillating amplitude is 3 to 5 and oscillating slide frequency 30 to 60 hertz, that is programmable, and axis slide travel 300 The machine again, the force and position mode control options, and the data acquisition software equipped with this machine. The videos of our FSW machine. This is the 3600 CNC model machines supplied to CSAR. The machines equipped with liquid tool holder. The 6 aluminum manual clamping, 6 aluminum belting. X, Y, Z, all three axes. The machine capable of welding circular, rectangular patterns and 2D profile welding. Sorry, before that one video. This is a 5-axis FSW 100 kilonewton machine supplied to DRDO. The head tilt AB axis and the spindle integral spindle motor 63 kilowatt and 450 Newton meter torque. And the x-axis travel 2000 y-axis travel 1000 and the z-axis travel 1000 The machine equipped with liquid tool holder. The machine welding of 12 steel material. The machine equipped with seam tracker. The machine equipped with preheating module. The machine equipped with underwater welding system. These are fixtures we supplied along with machine. Circular up to 600 diameter. Tools we supplied along with machines. The friction welding machine is a 30 kilonewton friction welding machine. It's a capacity of 25 to 25 capacity. The stationary components clamps by self-centering hydraulic braces. The machine equipped with the data acquisition software. Under clean access force machine. These are valuable clients. We supplied more than 25 friction welding machines in India and we exported abroad. And we have models from 10 kilonewton to 200 kilonewton right now, and we have the capacity of 20 meters friction stir welding machine to manufacturers of the panel welding applications. And thank you all for the giving opportunity to brief our product question.
Yeah, thank you, Venkatesh, for nicely bringing out your products. And